Sige. Attorney Llames, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning to the members of this committee. For the Department of Labor and Employment, of course, we respect and adhere the legislative prerogative of the Senate to introduce this social legislation. And we support the measures that enhance the disposable income of workers, particularly the minimum wage earners, as this may help mitigate the financial pressures brought about by prevailing economic conditions, and of course promote and improve their overall well-being. And Madam Chair, also being specifically from the National Wages and Productivity Commission, we also hoped for the retention and expansion of the exemption that is given and currently being enjoyed by minimum wage earners from the payment of income tax. And we hope, despite we support the expansion of the threshold amount and hope that the exception enjoyed be retained. We will also be submitting po, Madam Chair, our consolidated position paper. That is all po. Thank you.
Later, babalikan ko din kayo ng questions, no? Pero at least tayong lahat, you can say your piece. So I'll call on now Attorney Alan Montaño from the Federation of Free Workers.
Madam Chair, everybody, good morning. Malaki ang aming pagpapasalamat na kami ay naimbitahan dito sa public hearing on these 6 measures which intends to increase the ceiling doon sa tax exemption, ma'am. Actually, nang mabasa namin yung mga proposals, it's not just that exemption doon sa minimum wage earners. First time sa kasakali, ma'am, na yung middle class, kahit pa paano, for the first time, magkaroon ng ayuda sa gobyerno kung maipasa natin ito under your leadership. Lahat in the past, from the time pa ng COVID, ang lahat na nakakatanggap lang ng ayuda ay yung mga walang trabaho, yung mga tambay, yung mga walang ginagawa. Ang hirap na ngayon maghanap ng trabahante na magtatrabaho sa farms dahil may inaasahang porpis, may inaasahang AX, may inaasahang kung ano-ano pa. Once na ma-employ sila, hindi na kasi sila makukover ng mga ayudas na yun. Now, in the meantime, itong mga nagbabayad ng buwis, kami yun, tayo yun. Nagkaroon lang ng konting lamang doon sa minimum wage, naging subject na sa income tax, yung kabuoang sahod natin. And ever since, wala tayong may natanggap na ayuda from this government. Subject sa validation yung statement na yan, ma'am. Pero I'm pretty sure, because ako wala kong naramdaman, wala kong natanggap na ayuda o tulong. Despite all these difficulties na naranasan natin in the recent past. Nagkaroon pa ng COVID, nagkaroon ng oil ng emergency sa presyo ng langis. Wala tayong natatanggap. May natanggap ang mga driver ng tricycle, jeepneys, TNVs, minimum wage earners, may natatanggap sila. Pero yung mga nakatatanggap ng a little more than the minimum wage, wala tayong may natanggap, ma'am. Now, with all these proposals, that's why we are very, very glad. By the way, I'm representing the Federation of Free Workers. Siya ngayon ang chair ng national ng nagkaisa labor coalition, which is the biggest, we claim as the biggest labor coalition in the country today. At kami rin ay bahagi ng convenors ng National Wage Coalition. So we really appreciated this initiative of this committee at naitalakay ito ngayon today. Dahil nga doon sa proposal, while my proposal from 250 maging 360, mayroong 480, Madam Chair, kung maghanap lang tayo ng moral na basihan, no less than the Philippine Statistics Authority, the National Economic Development Authority, sila mismo nag-determine, may finding that this can be validated by our friend from NWPC, na ang family living wage, in short, yung kailangan ng family of 5 para mabuhay naman ng medyo maayos-ayos, ay kailangan natin sa ngayon, sila may sabi noon, hindi kami, ng 1,221 pesos to 1,225 pesos. Siyempre, araw-araw, kung yun ang kailangan mo para makapamuhay ka kahit papano ng disente, times mo sa 30, that's around 4,800. Right? Ngayon, kasi kesa yung maghula lang tayo kung saan natin, ano yung maging basihan natin. Kung minimum wage lang ang babasihan natin, times 30 natin yung National Capital Regional Rate na 695 as of today, wala pang 18,000 yun. Alright? Ngayon, kung times 30 natin, yung 1,221 na sabi ng PAC, at least yung may basis tayo, may concrete na basis. Kasi sila, may pag-aaral silang isinagawa. So yung 121 na yan, 1,221 na yan, times 30 natin. So that's roughly around basta more than 400,000. Ngayon, Madam Chair, kung sa pagtutulong-tulong, specifically, although iba-ibang figures yung sinusuportahan ng ating mga sponsors ng bills natin dito, we are very thankful well, regardless of their political colors. We are appreciative really sa initiative ni Win Gatchalian, ni Bam Aquino, ni Senator Jinggoy, although nasa labas na siya, si Mark Villar, and well, iba-iba yung figures. Pero as I said, there should be basis for it. And the most, yung proposal na merong legal and moral na basihan, ay yung something na masuportahan yung pamumuhay ng isang pamilya na medyo decente naman. And as I stated, based on the study, no less than conducted by Philippines Statistic Authority and the National Economic Development Authority. Of course, may mga cost impact yan. Pero kung yung halaga na yung pinag-uusapan ay 8 billion, gasino lang naman yung 8 billion na makakatulong naman doon sa number of families na mabiyayaan. Kung saan pwedeng kukunin yan, we are proposing. The Nagkaisa Labor Coalition, the National Wage Coalition, FFW itself is advocating i-tax natin, buwisan natin yung mayayaman. Merong wealth tax na pinopropose. So, kung kahit na 1% lang, noong mga pinakamamayaman na top 1%, nung citizens ng Pilipinas ang ating bubuwisan ng 1%, trillion na yung abutin yan, Madam Chair. So, siguro ang BIR natin baka makakatulong yan. Hindi naman siguro kalabisan yon na yung may mga asset, lalo na kung ibaba natin yun based sa 1 billion na asset ng mga mayayaman. Ibabal natin sa 500 million, laki-laki na nun. Pwede nating mas matlaking tax exemption yung pwede natin ibigay sa ating mga middle class citizens at sa ating mga Filipino workers. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair, sa pagkakataon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Attorney Montaño. I recognize Senator Lauren Legarda, and I think she has an opening statement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe that the last time the baseline was reviewed was 2018. Is that correct? It was set in 2018. And given the inflation rate, sabi nga nila ang 100 piso ay 70 pesos na lamang, ay dapat talaga i-review. There are many versions of the bills. I think mine has not yet been referred to the committee, or I'm about to file it, but it can be taken into consideration. But I support any adjustment to increase the tax-exempt baseline, which is set, what is it now, 250,000 per year. Before I arrived, the BIR and the DOLE already answer, ano ba yung tingin nyo, yung makatao na realistic na pagtaas ng baseline, itabi mo muna yung pagpondo sa mga benepisyo o ayuda ng gobyerno. Has that been answered? Not yet. We just heard from Attorney Montaño first. So, it's half of 2026. It's more than 8 years since the baseline was determined. A review is in order, and definitely any adjustment will be welcome to the middle class. So it's just a matter, I believe, Madam Chair, if what adjustment will be made for 250. Just if you've studied it, and even if you've not, gusto ko lang marinig sa BIR o sa DOLE. Ano ba ang makatao na adjustment? Tapos sasagutin ka ni BIR, yung makatao, kaya ba natin o hindi? Yun. Simpleng tanong.
So I'll just add, earlier when BIR gave their statement, they support, but of course they want to align with Department of Finance
Yes,
kasi
Madam Chair.
we all recognize that the lost revenue has to be produced somewhere else, and unfortunately wala si DOF now because of confusions caused by some other people.
No, pero
So-
naman nandito kayo.
Yeah, we are very happy that they're here. So yun, we will have to await what their statements are on that. Kasi ang ganda talaga ng proposal talaga na to.
Yes.
Nagkakaano na lang kung how much sana, no?
It should be a priority measure. Is it not a
Yeah.
LEDAC measure?
Parang hindi ko pa nakita yan sa LEDAC, no?
So-
We can propose.
Nag-a-agree pa kayo? Sumasang-ayon pa yun na kailangan may adjustment. At anong adjustment? Ayon sa DOLE, syempre, ikaw ay naka-focus sa mga manggagawa. Ano sa tingin mo? At si BIR naman, ibabalanse mo yung makatao at yung kaya ng gobyerno. Yes. Please. Thank you.
Attorney Llames, please.
Again, thank you, Madam Chairs, Madam Senators. Siguro para masagot po yun, of course, kailangan ng pag-aaral, kailangan din po ng several factors that we should be able to consider po. No? But perhaps, ma'am, if I can offer some data po. I had mentioned earlier that currently, at least our code exempts minimum wage earners from income tax payment. However, as had been pointed out po, the threshold amounts have been set years earlier, 2018. And from that time until now po, ma'am, of course, there have been increases po in the wages. In particular, for the minimum wage earners, lately, halos annually po yung increase. And there may come a time po na baka lumampas na po doon sa 250 threshold. So, napapanahon din po siguro na taasan na po itong threshold ceiling. For some data po, currently if we use NCR minimum wage rates, this is the highest rate of minimum wage po sa bansa. Currently it is at 695, but currently being reviewed also. If we look at the annual earning po ng isang minimum wage earner po dito sa NCR, aabot na po ito sa 239,000 plus po. So as I had said earlier, malapit na po doon sa 250 na ceiling. And for the next naman po na regions na merong malapit po yung kanilang minimum wage sa Calabarzon and Region 3, nasa 600 na po sila ngayon. Nasa around 200, lampas na rin po ng 200,000 po ang kanilang annual income. Minimum wage earners pa lang po yun. So again, and to mirror din po yung ating kasamahan din po na hindi lang po sana minimum wage earners din ang pwedeng kinabang dito sa bills, but also the middle class. Siguro it is ample time din po talaga, ma'am, na we review po itong mga threshold ceiling po na ito.
Thank you for your answer, and we take note that you are in agreement with increasing the threshold, and we take note that NCR, which is the highest minimum wage, is almost near the threshold because it's 239,000 a year. Okay, BIR attorney, thank you.
Madam Chair, right now po kasi we have not yet conducted a study as to the revenue impact po nung tax exemption. We'll have to consult first with the statistics division, ma'am. And as a matter of policy din kasi siya, we'll have to defer to the stand of our mother agency, the Department of Finance, on the matter.
Dapat, USEC in charge. Yeah. Why are they not present? Was there confusion?
Usually it's Yusek Carlo who attends our hearing. So
So make sure, please, even if they're not physically present, can they kindly send to us a soft copy of their position on the matter, because the BIR is not able to do so. They have to look at the mother agency's position.
exactly.
Yes. Yes. Has our tax office of the Senate reviewed this? Lumir, ano sa tingin nyo? Yung sa pwede siguro, no? Yung tax office ng Senado, matagal na si Lumir sa akin 1998 pa yan kasi gusto ko lang maintindihan sa pag-aaral natin ay ano ba dapat mula 2018? I want to understand. At ano ba yung inflation rate ng 2018 na linigay natin yung threshold for tax baseline na 250,000 a year, tas ngayon ang inflation is over 7%, ay ano dapat i-increase yung tax threshold? Meron ba tayong ganung pag-aaral? Wala pa. In the Senate, do we have it?
Actually, I'll
Yes.
answer quickly while you're come. No, you can come. I'm just sharing what also came from their office, no? And I mentioned it earlier before you arrived, Senator Loren. Dun sa proposal na 400,000 a month yung threshold, the estimated revenue loss would be 8.6 billion. And then dun naman sa 480,000 threshold, 9.2 billion ang estimated loss.
Ano yung preference ni Attorney Montaño kanina? Nagbigay ba kayo ng figure mula sa grupo nyo? No?
What you did is he gave the figure. Actually, yung hinanap ko yung kinote nyo, I think it's Ibon Foundation. He mentioned yung living wage. Sabi niya PSA, pero hindi ko pa makita yung sa PSA eh. Ang nakita ko it's from Ibon na roughly 1,200 pesos a day. So kinumpute niya yon, sabi niya if gagamitin natin yung figure na yon, then you know already that na yan sana yung natitake home nga nung ating mga kababayan. So that would come up to around 400,000. Anyway, you can add to that. I'm just summarizing for the senator what you said. Baka
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
madadagdag
ma'am.
ka.
Tama, ma'am. Ang sinasabi natin yung pag-set ng threshold na yun na somehow merong basis, merong pag-aaral. So kung yun ang
Ang
family living wage,
oo.
1 to 1, unfair naman na ibubuwisan pa na. I mean, sa sitwasyon sa ngayon, malaking tulong na natin sa kanila kung i-exempt natin yung amount na yon from taxation. At least meron tayong konkretong basihan. It's not just taken from thin air. So may basis. So kung ibabalidate, dahil ayon sa aming pag-aaral, sabi ng NEDA mismo magkano yung kanilang it's mas malaki pa nga sa kanila eh. Pero anyway, I leave it to the Senate staff to do as suggested by Senator Loren. Meron naman tayong mga staff, mga expert on that. Madali na rin siguro. Pero kami sa bahagi ng FFW, ng Kaisa Labor Coalition, ng National Wage Coalition, we really appreciated the initiative of the present committee leadership na sinagawa itong public hearing na ito. Thank you very much, ma'am, at makakarating sa aming mga miyembro that we attended in today's public hearing. Maraming salamat.
Chair, just for the record from Ibon, since you mentioned the Ibon Foundation, 1,266 pesos a day or 27,537 a month is needed to live decently as of March 2026. Pero sa tingin ko nga, mababa pa ito eh. 27,500 sa Metro Manila. Mahirap. O rental, utilities, transport. This is even very, very conservative. Yes. That's all for now. I'll just listen first and I wanted to provide you quorum as well. Thank you.
Kaya nga kasi mas maganda yung discussion talaga natin kung nandito yung yung DOF kasi alam naman natin sila yung talagang tsaka sila talaga yung primary agency that will have a say here.
Yes, Madam Chair, nothing would prevent us from asking them to submit before the end of office hours the
Yeah.
soft copy. They
Yeah.
should. They must comply.
Yeah, for the record, we have
Yeah.
quite a number of revenue bills exemptions and others na we're really waiting for their final recommendations.
Mabagal.
Wala pa, oo. Yeah. So sige, some questions lang no. Do you have this? How many taxpayers would fall within the various tax exempt brackets? So dun ngayon sa 250 what I have here is based on data provided, 90% of individual income tax filers were compensation income earners. So malaking bagay yun. These people rely, 90% of earners are compensation income earners. And then 95% of the individual income tax filers fall under the 250. So may nabigay na galing yan sa STS-RO natin. Magaling talaga STS-RO natin. 95% of individual income tax filers fall under the 250. So of the individual income tax filers, 95% na ang 95.5 na ang nakikinabang sa 250. But this is what I want to add. Senator Loren will like this number. Well, not like it, but will appreciate this number. Today, with inflation, yung 250,000 na threshold na pinasa natin noong 2018, that value is now 341,000. So, kung i-cover mo lang is 250, which is by law, it's just 250, they're only able to buy a smaller amount of their daily needs. So, by increasing it dun sa 360, kasi may isang proposal dito na 360, of course, that doesn't limit us, no? 360, 380, 400, 450, it's up to us. But the lowest proposal we have in front of us is 360. Wala pa nga tayong binigay na dagdag eh. We're basically just covering the same amount that was anticipated to be spent in 2018. So dun pa lang tayo. I don't know, may idadagdag ka pa ba sa figures? Attorney John, do you have anything?
Sorry, ma'am,
Unfortunately,
we currently do not have data right now.
Oh, yun na nga eh. So, yun. Ano pang meron natin? So, meron pala tayong, kanino galing to? Sa STSRO din. Thank you talaga. Okay. So, if we increase to 400,000, then we increase from 95.5% of individual income tax filers to 98% na. Yun. So yung mga maliliit na yun na yung mga upper middle class and beyond. Okay. And then if you increase to 480,000, we cover 98.4 of tax filers. Napakaliit na lang pala talaga. Talagang nasa 1% na lang yung mga bigger income, ano? Okay.
Gusto kong maintindihan o maramdaman magkano ang mababawas na iaambag or gagastusin ng isang pamilya na kumikita ng minimum wage kung sila ay hindi masama sa pagbabayad ng taxes. So, in short, if we increase a threshold, base na lang sa 250,000 in 2018 to the present because of inflation to 341,000. Sabihin mo yung bill na pinakamababa ngayon na 360,000. Can you explain to us a family, paano sila magiginhawahan kung sila ay mag-cover ng paano ka lang batas kung ito'y maging batas? Are you able to compute that? If the law is passed, the bill is passed into law, yung 360,000 threshold from the 280,000 in 2018, yung kumikita ayon sa 360,000 divided by 12 yun, no? Correct? Magkano ang dagdag nila sa kanilang gastusin dahil hindi sila naisama sa pagbabayad ng buwis? Are you able to compute that, BIR? Dole? Kayo, kaya nyo? How do you compute the tax? Naiintindihan yung tanong ko? Yeah. Because the chair has clearly said, and we've been discussing since 2018, it's not been adjusted. And the chair had mentioned that 250,000, 2018, based on the CPI inflation adjustment to the present, magiging 341,000 at present value, but the bill, the lowest threshold is 360. Sa muna 360, mapasa natin ito ay anong benepisyo sa isang pamilya?